going on, everybody, and welcome to episode 4? Are we already on episode 4? I think it's episode 4 of BSP's Block List presented by Couch Guys Sports. I'm your host, Brianna, also known as BSP, and my job is to take you through every story I'm following and all the ones that I'm blocking throughout the world of Boston sports and beyond. Now, we got our first real taste of actual sports this week. I know baseball, we're going on week 2 now, maybe 3, but we got hockey and basketball back. And we've seen teams report for camp in the NFL, so it's nice that things are finally starting to come together. Starting off with the bubbles, NHL and NBA have both reported 0 positive coronavirus tests out of everyone that they've tested, which is a remarkable number when you think about all the players, coaches, team staffers, league staffers, some media that's there, and all the ins and outs. It's incredible, and it's a good sign that we're going to get a full season out of both of these leagues, which is not something we can say for Major League Baseball at the moment. Speaking of coronavirus and Major League Baseball, things are continuing to not look good for the future of this season. The Marlins are back and playing, and they're actually doing incredible, which is weird because it's the Marlins, and that's not really something you consider when you talk about them. But now it's the St. Louis Cardinals who have 13 players and staff members to test positive for corona. And it feels like it's just going to be one team after another with all the traveling they're doing and all of the protocols that it seems like they're not really following. Not to swirl any rumors around, but the things that have been popping up with the Marlins was that there was a strip club in Atlanta, and I've seen a few things with the Cardinals that there's a casino trip in the mix, and that's where they think that they all contracted the virus from. Again, I have no idea. I feel like nobody really knows the real story except for the teams and the players themselves. But 13 members of the Cardinals organization have tested positive, and it's, like I said, it's just going to be one after another at this point. Going back to the NHL, the Boston Bruins have 2 games under their belt of this round robin, and they both were not great. I guess you could say Wednesday's game against Tampa was a little bit better than Sunday's game against Philly, but both of them resulted in losses, and it was just very frustrating to watch. And they have one more on Sunday against the Capitals. Now, the most frustrating part of all of this is because they started so slow and so just mentally not there, it seemed like they have no chance to finish any higher than the 3rd seed after winning the President's Trophy and scoring 100 points, being the best team in the league, the absolute number 1 seed in the league. Because of coronavirus and because these whole resume to play scenarios, the round robin dropped the Bruins down, and now there's a good chance they end up having to play Carolina in the first round of the real playoffs. Now, Carolina just swept the Rangers, and that's not to, blow them out of proportion because the Rangers are the Rangers. I don't know. I don't think they're great, but that might just be growing up a Bruins fan in Ranger country and not liking them. Regardless, Carolina is a wagon right now. They looked like they meant business. They looked like they're fired up, firing on all cylinders. And I personally would not want to play them in the very first round because they already have 1 round of playoff hockey under their belt, which is momentum. It's high energy momentum. And the Bruins, like I said before, look like they're asleep on their skates. So I'm kind of hoping that Pittsburgh gets to pull this thing off against Montreal, because I'm more comfortable, which is weird, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm more comfortable playing the Penguins right now than I think I am playing the Canes. And that's partially because I think Sidney Crosby's a bitch when it comes to playoff hockey. But I feel like everybody does, so I know I'm not alone with that. But the Bruins have to wake up. They have 1 more game before the playoffs actually start. And if these first 2 were any indication of what we're going to see from them in the future, I don't like it. And this week saw the return of the Patriots to Gillette Stadium for their coronavirus testing, their headshots, which I will get to later because there are some pretty freaking good ones, and some light workouts on the practice field. And it also gave us our first look at Cam Newton and his Patriots gear, which is kind of a breath of fresh air. I feel like we're all I hope we're all kind of past the whole Tom Brady thing. I'm ready to welcome the new guy with open arms because if there's a season, it should be an exciting one for the Patriots. Despite all the opt-outs, I know we've already seen about 8 guys go so far, which is detrimental to the team. It hurts them a little bit, but again, like I said last week, it's their prerogative. Good for them. Nobody can ever, get angry at that decision. Anyway, now I told you I would get back to the headshots, and if you haven't seen them, you are absolutely missing out because the Patriots might have first team all hair and all facial hair on this roster. And you start with Bo Allen, newcomer, and he's got this long hair, Fu Manchu looking mustache. And then David Andrews, who's got a thick, just immaculate mullet. It's probably one of the best I've ever seen. And I'm not a mullet complimenter. I think they're not my thing, but holy cow. And then you've got Gunnar and Winnow, who both have long blonde hair right now. Winnow's kind of shying away from the bleached blonde Elsa from Frozen thing, which, I don't know, we'll have to see if that was a rookie year thing and if he's going to do something different this year. I personally think he would look great with purple hair, but that might be a little too drastic. And then you've got rookie tight end Dalton Keene, who's just got a thick brown mustache, and it's with he looks like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite in his picture. That's who he looks like. That just popped in my head. I don't know why. I have a vivid image of Uncle Rico stored in my brain, but that's who. If Dalton Keene was just a little bit tanner, they'd be twins. And now I'm really upset because I'm never ever gonna think of him the same. No matter what he does this season, he's always gonna be Uncle Rico to me. Now we've already seen a few Pats players have media availability this week, so I would hope that means Cam Newton's time is coming soon, because I am dying to hear him talk about the whole process of getting signed by New England, his thoughts about being here, and kind of wanting to see if he's gonna throw the Patriot way in there and kind of give these short Bill Belichick answers, or if he's actually gonna try to find a happy medium between his personality and Bill's personality in a way that's gonna make this relationship work. Which brings us to our first block story of the week, and it's actually something I've noticed since Cam was signed by the Patriots that a lot of fans are doing, but more so after this past week, because last Friday he posted the picture of him arriving at Gillette, and a lot of people in the replies were like butthurt about it, and I don't really understand why. So I saw a few people reply that he needs to, put his ego aside and work, or he needs to respect who he's coming after in the position that he's taking over, and things like that. And in the nicest way possible, I don't really know how else to say this, so I'm really gonna try to be nice about it. But if you're expecting him to come into here and be the next Tom Brady when it comes to his personality and the things he posts and just him as a whole, you're dumb. You're just dumb. I'm sorry. They're two polar opposite people. Cam is very outgoing and he's very outspoken on social media. He likes to post all those workout videos where he's like talking trash and stuff, and I think it's cool. Everybody seems to think it's cool except for that select few people who think he's being disrespectful to Tom Brady in a way, which I don't understand, because this really has nothing to do with Tom Brady. He's not the quarterback of the Patriots anymore. He is now Tampa Bay's responsibility. So if anybody is going to get upset over Cam Newton, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. He's going to do his thing. I do think he's going to, adapt to the Patriot way. But like I said, I think it's going to be more of a happy medium between who he is and what his personality is and what Bill expects from his guys in terms of posting on social media and talking in the media and things like that. But I don't think he's going to completely stop with these videos, nor would I really expect him to, because when you think about it, the Patriots have had some pretty out there personalities. I mean, Julian Edelman, while it's not the same, he posts some pretty out there stuff on his Instagram. Rob Gronkowski used to party all the time, and Bill never took issue, at least publicly, with all the videos of him, chugging beers and cracking beers open on his head and doing WWE in the off season. I don't understand why all of a sudden when it comes to Cam Newton, personality is an issue. Now for block story number 2, this again isn't the first time I've seen this, but it just popped up so recently that I feel like it's an appropriate time to talk about it. And I'm sure, again, it's not going to be the only time I see it or even talk about it, but it's just fresh in my mind right now, and I need to get all of this off my chest or else I'm going to explode. Patrick Mahomes. I am known to not like Patrick Mahomes. I will concede the fact that he's the greatest quarterback in the league right now. Not ever. Right now. He's the most talented. He's young. He's got weapons. But I'll get to that later. ESPN posted a poll, and the question was, if Patrick Mahomes retired right now, would he be a Hall of Famer? The answer to that question is no. If we're gonna just base Hall of Fame status on 2 good seasons and 1 Super Bowl win. There are people in the Hall of Fame that, shouldn't be there, and there are people that aren't who should. We need to really just slow our roll. And it really isn't just regarding Patrick Mahomes. This is just what happened this time. But, people thought the same about Lonzo coming into the NBA, and, that obviously died out. People think that about Zion right now. Just because these young kids are good doesn't mean that they don't have a huge, vast, long career ahead of them where things could absolutely change. Now, again, I know Patrick Mahomes is great. I'm not saying he's not. He won an MVP and a Super Bowl in his first 2 years as a starter. That's wildly impressive. But you also have to take into account, which I feel like a lot of people forget, the offense that he has. If you put Tom Brady in that offense last year, they would have won a Super Bowl. If you put Aaron Rodgers in that offense, they would have won a Super Bowl. If you take Mahomes out and put any above average to great quarterback in that position, they still win a Super Bowl. You've got jackass Travis Kelce, who's not the best tight end in the league, but he's up there. He's top 3. You've got the other jackass Tyreek Hill, who can outrun a fighter pilot in one of those jets that goes supersonic. It's just, we have to understand that, Patrick Mahomes isn't a one-man band. And I feel like everyone is just so living in the now that we forget that. Well, not we. I know that. I hammer that home as often as I can because I just don't like him. I don't like the Chiefs. I don't like him. I'm sorry. I'll admit it. I'm a homer when it comes to the Pats, and I think everybody else sucks, and I hate them all. Whatever. I used to think the same about the Ravens back when Flacco was January Joe, and I don't like them. The Broncos were the same way. They all suck. Patrick Mahomes is good. Whatever. I'll admit it if I have to. I don't like it, but I'll do it. But he's not a one-man band. And if he were to retire right this very second for really whatever reason, I don't think the reason matters, he wouldn't be a Hall of Famer. He needs more time. I'm not saying he's not gonna be ever. I feel like he's gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer without question. But right now, we're just so in love with this guy, again, not we. But the sports world is just so in love with him where it's kind of weird. He is to the NFL right now, through ESPN's eyes, what LeBron James is to the NBA. They just love talking about him. There could be absolutely nothing going on relevant to him, and there will still be some sort of highlight that pops up on SportsCenter, and the reason's really unknown. But he's not a Hall of Famer right this second. In another 2 years, would I say yes? Maybe, if he has consistently great years like the first 2, and he wins another Super Bowl. Let's say he just wins 1 in the next 2 years. I would consider him a Hall of Famer at that point, but that's after 4 full seasons as a starter. Not 2 with a really, really, really great team around him. So we'll see. Ask me again in 2 more years. My opinion might change. It might not. I have a feeling it will. But as of right now, can we please just... You want to know what it does? It goes to his girlfriend's head more than it goes to his head. And she doesn't... That ego does not need to get any bigger than it already is. So... There's things like that just gets me fired up. Because it's we aren't able to have great players just be great in the moment without worrying about their future and their status in the history books. Can we just please shut the up and just watch him play? And then whatever happens when his career is over, whether he's in the Hall of Fame or not, can we just let that happen? We don't need to have these arguments about, oh, well, if he ended his career right now and the moon was aligned in a certain way and it's a Tuesday and my socks were purple, would he be in the Hall of Fame? I just want to watch people play football without, even if I don't like them, can we stop doing that? That's another thing. That wasn't on my agenda, but now that I've got this rant out, it just drives me absolutely insane that we are such, as sports fans, creatures of the moment, but also get so ahead of ourselves. He's probably not going to retire for another 15 years. Definitely after this Banana Land contract he just got is up. Can we worry about the Hall of Fame then, please? And just let him play football right now and let people enjoy him playing football right now. Because I feel like if we had this argument about Tom Brady when I was growing up, and like, maybe we did and I just don't remember, but I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much watching him do everything that he did. And I sound like I'm pleading for Chiefs fans right now, which is the exact opposite of really what I'm trying to do, because no, just I don't like them. They don't like me, and that's the way of the world. But just let them enjoy their guy for right now. Like, let them enjoy what Patrick Mahomes is right now, and then worry about all the after career stuff after his career. And now, I wasn't gonna do a Who's Mad this week. I was supposed to do mailbag questions, but nobody wanted to send me any mailbag questions this week. So my Who's Mad for this week is me being mad at all of you, because I specifically asked for people to send me mailbag questions, and I think like 1 or 2 people did, and that's not enough for me to have a whole segment. So I appreciate the ones who did. You know who you are. I know who you are too, but I'm not gonna take the time to go look at your names, and because that's just it's gonna take too long. But thank you for not sucking, and everybody else, no thank you for sucking. And I'm gonna attempt to do mailbag next week. This is your warning. You have a whole week now to get me questions. An entire week. 7 whole freaking days. Well, I guess 6, because I'm recording on Thursdays and this posts on Fridays. So 6. You have 6 days to send me questions. Like, please do it, because while I enjoy making people mad, it's kind of hard to do every single week. During football season, I can do it every day, but there's no football right now. And hockey Twitter, like, I have every single Blues fan I know muted. I could, take the easy way out and just argue with LeBron stans all the time, but where the hell is the fun in that? So please send me questions for next week, please. At least 5, at least. Preferably 10, but 5 I can make work. So with that being said, that does it for this week's episode of BSP's Block List. I counted in my head while I was recording. This is actually episode 4, so episode 5 is gonna be next week, with all of your mailbag questions that you're all gonna send me, so I have things to talk about. And as always, make sure you're following BSP's Block List on Twitter, which is actually where you can send those mailbag questions. Look at that, that's amazing. Funny how that works, huh? I'm also gonna have, just updates on things that are going on throughout the week. Again, we've got more basketball and hockey, playoffs are coming. We got more stuff happening in the NFL. Things are starting to progress forward towards actual training camp. We're 5 weeks away from the season starting. So just keep an eye out, and yeah, that's it. So mailbag questions. If you don't send me mailbag questions, you're all getting blocked.